Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into the world of cricket. And more specifically, we're going to be talking about India and New Zealand
Oh, okay.
and their dominance in international cricket.
Hmm.
Now, the source material we'll be looking at for this is called India and New Zealand, Dominance in ICC Events. And right out the gate, it makes a pretty bold claim.
Okay.
It argues that these two countries, India and New Zealand, they're the teams to beat in ICC tournaments, like the World Cups.
Interesting.
But the thing is, their style of dominance is, well, might surprise you.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Let's unpack that. I mean, dominance is a word we hear a lot in sports, but what does it really even mean, especially in this context? Like, how do we measure it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the source actually acknowledges that right away. Like, they point out that ICC events, those are the big ones, the World Cups, the Champions Trophy. Those are the tournaments that really matter on the global stage.
Right, right. I mean, there's so much history there. And for players, I mean, winning one of those tournaments, it's got to be like the ultimate achievement.
Absolutely. In fact, the source even quotes Stephen Fleming, former New Zealand captain. He said, and I quote, "Winning an ICC tournament is the pinnacle for any cricketing nation."
Yeah, I can see why he'd say that. I mean, it's not just about individual skill. You need an entire system that fosters excellence across all formats of the game.
Right, you're talking about test matches, ODIs, and of course T20s.
Exactly.
So how does that actually work in practice? What does this recipe for success look like?
Well, the source breaks it down into some pretty specific factors. Like, when it comes to India, they highlight their batting depth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have this amazing ability to adapt to all kinds of different pitch conditions around the world. And they just consistently churn out world-class batsmen, guys who can anchor an innings or just explode and accelerate at will.
What about New Zealand? I mean, they're often seen as the underdogs, but this source is making a case for something quite different.
Totally different. See, New Zealand's strength lies in their team culture. They're incredibly flexible tactically, you know. They're masters at really exploiting whatever conditions are thrown at them, especially with their fielding. And their swing bowling attack.
Oh, I see.
Like, remember their 2015 World Cup campaign?
Yeah.
I mean, they consistently just shut down other teams with their fielding, saving crucial runs, building immense pressure.
So it sounds like we're talking about more than just winning or losing individual matches here.
Right.
It's about consistent performance, being adaptable to all the different styles of play.
Yeah.
So are we saying that India and New Zealand are the most well-rounded teams out there?
That's a fantastic question, and it kind of leads us to the surprising fact I mentioned earlier. The source reviews a statistic that really made me rethink how we define dominance. So between 2011 and 2023, India and New Zealand combined reached 11 ICC tournament semifinals. 11.
Wow.
No other team even comes close to that.
So that means even when they weren't winning the trophy, they were right there in the mix, consistently performing at the highest level.
Exactly. And that consistency, I think that's a testament to the cricketing systems they've built. You know, it's not just about one or two good players or a lucky streak. It's about having this deep well of talent and strategy that keeps them in contention year after year.
So what we're seeing here is a more nuanced understanding of what it means to be dominant.
Yeah.
It's not just about winning trophies. It's about building a system that can consistently produce results across all formats of the game over time.
Yeah, and the source really hammers that home. They argue that consistency over time is probably a better indicator of dominance than just looking at, you know, who wins the most tournaments in a given period.
And it seems like India and New Zealand have definitely cracked the code, at least for now.
It certainly seems that way, but that brings up another interesting question. Can they maintain it?
Right.
I mean, the landscape of cricket is constantly evolving, so what new challenges and contenders might we see emerging in the future? Will India and New Zealand be able to adapt and stay on top? What do you think?
That's a great question and one that deserves a whole other deep dive. But for now, I think we'll leave our listeners with that to ponder.
Sounds good to me.
Thanks for joining us for this exploration of cricket's most dominant forces. Until next time.